Wiring. Oh, okay. So, because I wanted to keep the options open, and because I want things to be done super, super right, I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself a little bit because I want LED lighting throughout this Airstream, okay? Notice the brand new metal floor I put in, which is way nicer than the stupid tin thing that they had there before. This, by the way, screws up into the subfloor, so obviously you won't see this. Personally, I love the look of stainless steel raw, but not on the inside. To me, it looks too much like a institution or jail or something. I get the style, I get people loving it, but for me, I'd rather personalize it and have it look really cool and modern, but not harsh, you know, not institutional or clinical looking. Anyway, so here's the wiring. I have basically that thick cable that comes through there, that goes to the 12 volt, that's your DC power supply. It's a big plug that sticks into the back of your truck. And that goes up to your 12 volt fuse distribution panel. Now all that does is it takes the power from your truck, okay, and it distributes the power from that thick wire to the little wires that control little things like your stereo, for instance. In this kooky little creature, I have this. That's controlled by one of those distribution wires, okay? So that wire finds its way up to that stereo. If you look back here, you can kind of see, you'll probably see some wires right there. See those wires? Anyway, you get the idea, right? So little things like 12 volt lights, like in your car, you have the overhead light, the dome light, which is what this is, and you'll see them throughout the trailer. And the reason why a trailer can have so many more dome lights and accessories like this that run off of your battery, which in this case there are two batteries that are slow marine, like for a boat type batteries. Those batteries withhold the charge to enable you to sit there and power these little draw lights like this. And little shit, right? Like your thingy-majiggy there for checking to see if you've got a gas leak. And it'll power a motor that'll turn on your water, but that will wear down your battery. So you have your battery. So you have to be careful where and when and how long you use stuff, like your fan. And there are certain things that do draw, like a furnace. The furnace actually does draw 12 volt power supply. So if you're going to sleep overnight with your furnace on, be aware that it is drawing from the battery as well as from your propane tanks. But getting to the wiring and specificity right now, the easy way to look at it is that I have gotten a spaghetti set of wiring that goes through the trailer from the distribution panel area. So if you want to go born battery, in other words, if you want to go solar and have a row of batteries here, you can. And you can distribute that battery power on a separate circuit, if you will, to another junction box or another distribution box, and you can run it separately if you so choose. Now I'm going to have here, you'll see coming out of here, sorry my camera work is so terrible, coming out of here I've got an 8-pin connector cable, which is that weird looking twisty one. I've got 2 engaging power cables, okay, one of them comes here to power my distribution box. Now, what that box is going to be doing is distributing LED light throughout the entire trailer, because I want to have LED walls. So the walls are going to be a kind of a opaque plastic that have LED lights built in. So you can change the color of the walls, and you can change the atmosphere and the environment. So if you want red or purple or black light or green or whatever you want, you can change the color of the interior of the Airstream. That's why everything has to be white, because whatever the LED walls and overhead lights and everything coordinate in terms of color, that you can do. And you'll be able to do it from your setup, entryway, light panel box. So that's what that's for. Now, coming out of here, I have another set of electrical, if you will, 12 volt love and stuffs and the 8-wire distributor. So that way I have, I've got the power coming from there. I've got separate four, actually there's 8 wires, but obviously that's 4 connectors. So I can have 4 LED coordinatable mood lights in the front of the cabin. I can have 4 along the side here, right? And then I can have another 4 along this area, including the bedroom area. So that's what I'm working on right now. So when you see this wiring, you'll see I've got power, two lines of power coming out of here. The wiring is coming, one to run my distribution box for my lighting rig, including the 8 line that will control the back here. I'm running another 8 wires to control here. I'm going to be running another 8 wires, which is 4 lights, to control my area here and here. So I'll probably go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's, you know what, I might just splurge and do, I don't know yet. I'm winging it. But just for now, let's say 2 for the bedroom, 2 for this wall, which is basically you're going to have 1 wall, 2 walls, 3 walls. Yeah, it's looking like I'm going to run 2. I'm going to run 4, 4, 4, 4, or else I'm going to, piggyback them so that one switch or one pot, which is a dimmer controller, will run a set of 2 or whatever. All right, so, but to get the grasp of what I'm doing, you guys get the idea, right? I've got my 4-pin wire here, 4-pin wire here, which is 8 wires. I've run 12-volt juice line all the way to the back. That's going to go all the way to the back. If I choose to run a separate 12-volt on a separate circuit, I can. So in other words, if you want to party like a fucking rock star and you don't want to worry about your batteries running down, you have 2 separate sets of batteries with a switcher if you so choose. So that way, no matter what, if you're boondocking, you can run the fuck out of a battery and not be worried about being stranded. So it really works killer. So you can party and not be constantly looking over to see how much battery you have left and clicking over to see how much battery you have. That way, no matter what, you've got enough battery to do whatever you need to do. Okay? You got double sets. Same way I've set up my propane tank system. I've got 2 separate propane tank systems, one on board and one in the truck. And over here I've run a specific line. I'll show you that now. This really thick line runs directly to my propane tanks, going through the frame up into the tank. So I can have a tank monitoring system for each tank if I so choose, or have one on my secondary tank and have an extra set of lines, wires to do whatever I want to do. If I want to run a motion detector, if I want to run a separate situation here from the front directly into the back of my system, I've got the wire pre-wired for it. Okay, so basically getting right down to the nitty-gritty of the schematic of the entire wiring system from the back of the trailer, I've got lines coming in, liquid propane, double trouble. I got 4 wires coming in through the frame, going over here, which is going to go to my Garnet, which really I'm hoping the sea level, the new one. There's a really nice digital looking like an iPad type of situation instead of that stupid Canadian like push button. That's ridiculous. But I ran the wiring for the tank monitoring system from them, and hopefully I'll be able to find a universal connect so that way it'll be nice and pretty. There is another one I really do like. I think it's called Sea Level. Anyway, you'll see it on YouTube. Look around for it. It's got a nice iPad window. I'm hoping to be able to use the tank monitors from Garnet, which are made in Canada, up to this brand new marine-looking, high-tech, modern shit. Okay, I'm hoping I can do that. That's why I ran separate lines for that. So all the wiring for the tank monitoring system is integral to the original design, so you can still run the original Airstream technology just for shits and giggles, for posterity's sake, or in case your digital rig goes down, you still have a secondary monitoring system, even though it only works in increments of 33%, or actually 25, but it actually doesn't work out like that when you start running the water. But there it is. So now you've got your line coming in, which brings you your liquid propane level. which will join up with my tank monitors. You've got your dual 12-volt power supplies coming in, one running all the way back to the back of the cabin, yet to be announced as to what I'm going to do with that, but I need power back here in a separate circuit. The secondary one is running up into the light rig, which is basically an LED controller, which will run 4 lines coming up here to address these 4 walls, which I think is only going to be 3 walls. So I might actually have the 4th one as part of the bedroom. Same thing with this side. So I might do it like that, to where a line coming out of here and a line coming out of here will determine on a separate, dimmer switch circuit what goes back, what goes on back here in terms of mood. But I think I've got a pretty good handle on how the design is going to be, in terms of, boy, when you walk into this thing, you're going to go, oh my God, it is so romantic and so inspiring and peaceful. And you want to run a frickin' rainforest soundtrack, then you just dim all the lights to a nice green, or if you want to listen to some Pink Floyd or whatever your jam is, and you can dial in red lights or purple lights or black lights, whatever it is that you dig, and it's all doable from the main circuit. I may run a secondary panel back here. I'm not sure yet. So that way you don't have to go up to the front of the cabin and fuck with it or get on your phone. Because obviously it's going to be controllable from your phone as well. That's the plan anyway. So there's the circuit. That's the schematic. And that's how it all is put together. I hope it makes sense. I think it makes a lot more sense than running off of the original Airstream circuit and trying to piggyback and ride, and ride tandem on some of their wiring. Because these wires are, this is expensive shit. This is like $2 a foot. So go figure how many feet there are here. I'd probably say there's 300 or 400 feet just in wire by the time I'm done. All right, sorry if I babbled. You've got a good, clear idea of how at least I'm doing it and what my foresight is and game plan is for the future. Cool.